Welcome to Exchange Weekly, Zambia's premier show covering capital markets, brought to you by the Lusaka Stock Exchange. In this week's episode, we're going to cover the education segment, where we look at what exactly investors can buy and sell on the Lusaka Stock Exchange. Then we move to the newsroom, where we get the latest from this week's capital markets. In our market analysis this week, we're joined by Ms. Chenge Vesa from Stockbrokers Zambia, where we look at how the markets have moved and what events have taken place. And finally, we close off the program with a special interview with Mr. Jimmy Mwambazi from Stockbrokers Zambia, where we talk about the quoting of Madison Financial Services. This and more. Keep in touch.
Say hello to the all-new Samsung Galaxy Young, a 3G smartphone with capacitive touchscreen for precision touch interactivity. You too can now enjoy high-speed browsing, instant email access, quick office document viewing and editing, plus so much more. It's twice the hello for the Samsung Galaxy Y Pro. Y Pro because it's not only 3G but also comes with QWERTY keyboard and capacitive touchscreen technology for your ultimate interactive experience. Get one of these smartphones and enjoy fast downloads and access to over 100,000 apps powered by Android. Get to your nearest Azida e-zone store and get yours.
For excellent furniture at a fraction of the price, visit Fan Trade Investments showroom, set in professionally decorated galleries where you can view an entire collection of your favorite styles. We offer 6 months warranty, after sales services and attractive discounts on selected items. We have in stock executive and standard tables, cabinets and chairs, 4-way workstations, reception counters and chairs, secretarial chairs and tailor stools, 4-drawer filing cabinet, steel and wooden, stationary cabinets, coffee tables, lounge suites, bedroom suites, certified fireproof sets. Children are not left out. For them, we have in stock kiddies fire engine car beds, police car beds, princess beds, wardrobes and study desks. All this and more at incredibly affordable prices. Visit us along Kabelenga Road near Levy Junction, Lusaka, where our friendly staff awaits to cater for your every need. Fan Trade Investments, the premier source of ideas for office and home decors.
A listed company is a public company that is listed on the stock exchange and issues units of shares on the stock market in exchange for money that it can use for capital activity such as expansion or product development to help the company expand its activities and eventually its profits. These companies also have the right to issue forms of debt on the Lusaka Stock Exchange to the general public called bonds. To list on the Lusaka Stock Exchange, a company must be converted to a registered PLC with PACRA, obtain approval from the Securities and Exchange Commission, and abide by the listing rules set by the Lusaka Stock Exchange. These listing rules are available from the Lusaka Stock Exchange offices. There are 3 types of financial experts that an investor will deal with to help them maximize their investment on the LuSE. The first type is that of a stockbroker. A broker is a regulated professional who buys and sells shares and securities for their customers who are the investors. A stockbroker's role is very similar to a housing agent's role in the property market, as they find deals and potential transactions for their client. If an investor wants to buy shares, then a broker looks for a person that is selling the same shares and convinces them to sell them to their client. Or, if an investor is looking to sell their shares, then a broker needs to find another investor who wants to buy shares and convinces them to buy their shares from their client. Another professional that an investor deals with is that of a fund manager. A fund manager is responsible for implementing funds investment strategies and managing portfolio trading activities. fund managers only deal with funds from groups like mutual funds or pension funds and devise strategies of how to make the value of these funds continue to grow. Fund managers usually receive a percentage of the profit of the fund, so it's in their best interest to make the value of the fund grow as much as possible. Finally, financial advisors are the final group that investors deal with. A financial advisor is a licensed professional that gives advice to an investor on how to manage their investments. The final body that we shall mention on the Zambian capital market is the Securities and Exchange Commission, also known as SEC. SEC is a regulatory body that monitors the Lusaka Stock Exchange and makes sure the conduct is fair, transparent, and efficient. That concludes this episode of Exchange Weekly's education segment. In our next episode, we shall take investors through a menu of shares and securities that a person can buy on the Lusaka Stock Exchange.
Say hello to the all-new Samsung Galaxy Young, a 3G smartphone with capacitive touchscreen for precision touch interactivity. You too can now enjoy high-speed browsing, instant email access, quick office document viewing and editing, plus so much more. It's twice the hello for the Samsung Galaxy Y Pro. Y Pro because it's not only 3G but also comes with QWERTY keyboard and capacitive touchscreen technology for your ultimate interactive experience. Get one of these smartphones and enjoy fast downloads and access to over 100,000 apps powered by Android. Get to your nearest Azida e-zone store and get yours.
For excellent furniture at a fraction of the price, visit Fantrade Investments Showroom, set in professionally decorated galleries where you can view an entire collection of your favorite styles. We offer 6 months warranty, after-sales services and attractive discounts on selected items. We have in stock executive and standard tables, cabinets and chairs, 4-way workstations, reception counters and chairs, secretarial chairs and tailor stools, 4-drawer filing cabinet, steel and wooden, stationary cabinets, coffee tables, lounge suites, bedroom suites, certified fireproof safes. Children are not left out. For them, we have in stock kiddies fire engine car beds, police car beds, princess beds, wardrobes and study desks. All this and more at incredibly affordable prices. Visit us along Kabelenga Road near Levy Junction, Lusaka, where our friendly staff awaits to cater for your every need. Fantrade Investments, the premier source of ideas for office and home decors.
Welcome to the newsroom. I'm your presenter, Munyumba Mutwale. In this week's capital market, in accordance with Zambia Sugar's financial performance of March 2012, it has been reported by the International Growth Center that the Zambian sugar market has experienced general levels of growth over the past decade. In accordance with a white paper published by the IGC, Zambia was ranked the 6th lowest cost producer of sugar in the world, with a tonnage cost of around $100 lower than the world average, thus making us one of the most competitive sources of global sugar. However, this industry has been heavily affected by the cost of doing business in Zambia, such as taxes, electricity, fuel, and other infrastructural business costs. Currently, frozen telecommunications giant Airtel Zambia has announced that they're going to release a brand new promotion called 5 times. Based on the average usage patterns of an Airtel prepaid subscriber, the system will bonus the subscriber with 5 times their average in free talk time. All this serves as an effort to increase their customer and subscriber base and eventually increase their revenue base in Zambia. In the banking sector, a new customer segment has been developed in Zambia, and this is through the Islamic banking sector. Following an announcement by the Minister of Finance, Honorable Alexander Chikwanda, the Zambian government have managed to finalize the operational guidelines for the Islamic Banking Regulations Protocol that will work within the confines of the Republic of Zambia's laws and regulations. The Islamic community of Zambia has made large contributions to the Zambian economy, and also listed companies such as Standard Chartered Zambia have also stated their interest in entering the Islamic banking services. All in all, this will eventually act as a golden opportunity to broaden the financial services sector and increase the revenue generation capabilities of banks. That's all we have from this week's newsroom. When we return, it's the market analysis.
Say hello to the all-new Samsung Galaxy Young, a 3G smartphone with capacitive touchscreen for precision touch interactivity. You too can now enjoy high-speed browsing, instant email access, quick office document viewing and editing, plus so much more. It's twice the hello for the Samsung Galaxy Y Pro. Y Pro because it's not only 3G but also comes with QWERTY keyboard and capacitive touchscreen technology for your ultimate interactive experience. Get one of these smartphones and enjoy fast downloads and access to over 100,000 apps powered by Android. Get to your nearest Azida eZone store and get yours.
For excellent furniture at a fraction of the price, visit Fantrade Investments Showroom, set in professionally decorated galleries where you can view an entire collection of your favorite styles. We offer 6 months warranty, after-sales services and attractive discounts on selected items. We have in stock executive and standard tables, cabinets and chairs, 4-way workstations, reception counters and chairs, secretarial chairs and tailor stools, 4-drawer filing cabinet, steel and wooden, stationary cabinets, coffee tables, lounge suites, bedroom suites, certified fireproof safes. Children are not left out. For them, we have in stock kiddies fire engine car beds, police car beds, princess beds, wardrobes and study desks. All this and more at incredibly affordable prices. Visit us along Kabelenga Road near Levy Junction, Lusaka, where our friendly staff awaits to cater for your every need. Fantrade Investments, the premier source of ideas for office and home decors.
Welcome back to Exchange Weekly. Now we go into our weekly market analysis. And this week we're joined by Ms. Chenge Besa from Stockbrokers Zambia. Welcome, Chenge.
Thank you, Minumba.
Now, straight into business, Chenge. How have the markets performed this week?
Well, Minumba, first we need to keep in mind that the week ended 6th July was a very short week because obviously Monday and Tuesday were a holiday. So relatively we'll be looking at the trades for Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, and so we see the index took a drop of 0.4%, and year to date it went down 1.8%, and so we see that the market didn't really perform as well as the previous week. We only had about 175 million kwacha in terms of turnover and about 9.7 million in terms of volume.
Okay, so even in this little short week, I'm sure there was some that actually spurred well and some that did well. So who were our top performers from that week?
In terms of performance, you can look at it in terms of volume and in terms of turnover. So in terms of volume, Standard Chartered took the big chunk of trades, accounting for about 78% of the trades that happened. And in terms of turnover, we have Zambia Sugar and Zanaco, both accounting for 23% and 22% respectively. Okay.
What about our share price movers?
Our share price movers, well, we saw in high-performing stocks, we saw 2 counters posting gains in the week, namely Government Holdings Capital and Zambia Sugar. So Zambia Sugar gained about 18 kwacha and closed the week at 280, and then we have Government which gained 15 ngwe and closed at 4.50.
Well, at 15, where it's a small stock, so it does count.
Yeah, it does count.
So it's a big count.
And then when it comes to counters that took a dip in the week, we have about 5. We have butter, which closed the week at 194. And it was down 6 kwacha. And we have CEC, which closed at 685, and it was down 4 kwacha. And Lafarge shares closed the week at 8,000 kwacha, down 1 kwacha. And real estate investment Zambia as well took a dip this week. I mean, with closing at 3498, down 1 kwacha. And Zanaco as well took a dip, and they closed at 160 kwacha, down 5 kwacha.
So all in all, we can see it was a relatively,
shaky week in terms of the number of companies that took a dip in the shares.
Well, moving on to events of the week, we heard that Cavmont Capital were actually having their AGM. Could we get a rundown of what occurred at that AGM?
Munyumba, they were at the AGM. They were looking to seek shareholder approval with regards to the recapitalization of the bank. And maybe I could take the viewers a step back. The reason that they were seeking approval from the shareholders with regards to the capitalization is in line with the new adequacy framework that was implemented by Bank of Zambia at the beginning of the year, where they announced the new primary capital for banks, for both local and foreign banks, being 104 for local banks and 520 for foreign banks. And of course then government capital holdings are looking to raise money. And of course, one of the things that came up at the AGM was how they were going to do it, and they announced to the shareholders that they would be looking to do a rights offer or a public offering. Yeah. So
it brings some good news for the market. It brings some activity.
Yes.
Okay, so at least we've got something else coming out of that now. So finally, we'd like to go into our weekly tradition where we ask our brokers, our guest brokers, if they have any recommendations for the market for the week.
Woman, I'm going to give the viewers or the investors a tip. If you're a first-time investor and you're looking to invest on the Lusaka Stock Exchange, we have a little trick that we work with, which we call BBC. So if you're a first-time investor, you would like to pick up something in banking, something in the beverage industry, and something in cement. So when we look at the companies that are quoted or listed on the Lusaka Stock Exchange under banking, our recommendation under banking would be Zanaco or Invest Trust Bank. Under beverage, our recommendation would be Natbrew, and of course under cement or construction, we would be looking at Lafarge.
It's a nice little acronym you've put together,
yes.
BBC.
Yes.
Easy to remember,
it's very easy to remember, yeah.
All right, thank you very much for joining us this week in this
thank you for having me.
Well, that's all we have from our market analysis. When we return, we come with our weekly discussion.
Say hello to the all-new Samsung Galaxy Young, a 3G smartphone with capacitive touchscreen for precision touch interactivity. You too can now enjoy high-speed browsing, instant email access, quick office document viewing and editing, plus so much more. It's twice the hello for the Samsung Galaxy Y Pro. Y Pro because it's not only 3G but also comes with QWERTY keyboard and capacitive touchscreen technology for your ultimate interactive experience. Get one of these smartphones and enjoy fast downloads and access to over 100,000 apps powered by Android. Get to your nearest Azida eZone store and get yours.
For excellent furniture at a fraction of the price, visit Fantrade Investments showroom, set in professionally decorated galleries where you can view an entire collection of your favorite styles. We offer 6 months warranty, after sales services and attractive discounts on selected items. We have in stock executive and standard tables, cabinets and chairs, 4-way workstations, reception counters and chairs, secretarial chairs and tailor stools, 4-drawer filing cabinet, steel and wooden, stationary cabinets, coffee tables, lounge suites, bedroom suites, certified fireproof safes. Children are not left out. For them, we have in stock kiddies fire engine car beds, police car beds, princess beds, wardrobes and study desks. All this and more at incredibly affordable prices. Visit us along Kabelenga Road near Levy Junction, Lusaka, where our friendly staff awaits to cater for your every need. Fantrade Investments, the premier source of ideas for office and home decors.
Welcome back to Exchange Weekly. We now move into our weekly discussion where we talk about the quoting of Madison Financial Services. And to join us in the studio is Mr. Jimmy Mwambazi from Stockbrokers Zambia to now join us for the discussion. Welcome, Jimmy.
Thanks, Manyumba.
Well, to get the ball rolling, the thing that's been talked about mainly in the media has got to come down to the actual act of quoting on the stock exchange. Many people will need some sort of clarification. What actually is quoting?
Okay. Quoting occurs when you register your shares or your securities that don't have to be shares with the Securities and Exchange Commission. And once that happens, you automatically get a quotation on the stock exchange, and that means that your securities can be traded on the exchange. And actually, according to the Securities Act, they have to be traded on an exchange once they're registered with the SEC. And that involves you converting into a public limited company if you're not a public limited company, and sending a registration statement into the SEC for approval. Once that happens, then you get your quotation on the exchange and your shares are tradable on the exchange.
So now comes the actual terminology twist where people sometimes get confused between quoting and listing. So what's the difference now when you're quoting and when you're listing?
Okay. When you're quoted, like I said, it's pretty much automatic. When you register with the Securities and Exchange, then you get a quotation on the exchange. What the difference is with listing is for listing, there are specific requirements, and you need to make a formal application into the Lusaka Stock Exchange. For listing, for example, you need to have at least 300 shareholders. You don't necessarily need that for a quotation. You need to have at least 1 billion number of shares in issue, and you also need to have at least 3 years of a satisfactory profit history. And furthermore, there also are disclosure requirements similar for quoted companies. Those are by the Securities Act, but listed companies are also, have to follow the listing rules, so the stock exchange listing rules. So that's all the procedures and disclosure requirements as per the listing rules in addition to the Securities Act. And that's primarily the difference. Also, listed companies pay a listing fee, which quoted companies don't need to do because it's pretty much automatic after you register your shares with the SEC. And the reason for that is, once your shares are registered, they need to trade on an exchange or publicly because you're a public company. And to spur up the growth of the stock exchange, the quoted tier was that was the intent for creating the quoted tier on the exchange. And so you get your automatic quotation, and it's envisioned that as a public company you will graduate into a listed company eventually after quoting.
Okay, well that at least clears up a lot of things there. Well, coming back from that, we looked at it from the market perspective of what's the definition of this and that. Now, we need to look at what it actually does to the company. What is the benefit of this quoting status for Madison Financial Services?
Well, there are many benefits for quoting. And first, the most obvious is access to long-term financing or long-term capital, primarily with respect to raising capital from institutional investors, whether it's equity or debt. And a lot of investment guidelines are going to specify that it needs to be a public company, and also it gives comfort to investors that the shares are publicly tradable. That helps the company or makes it a lot cheaper for them to raise capital via the exchange, but it also increases the visibility once you're quoted. Maybe not so much as a listing, but every time your LuSE reports go out, there's a quotation. And as a public company, you have all these disclosure requirements. You're transparent. You follow a higher corporate governance code, and all those benefits for the company, increase its profile, and they show that you're ready to play.
Well, as for the other stakeholder involved in this, what about the public at large? What are they getting out of this quotation of Madison Financial Services?
Okay. For the public, the benefit is that, first and foremost, Madison is going to be the first insurance company to get a quotation. And from an investment perspective, I suppose you're looking at it you're looking at it from a diversification perspective. That is, you have increased investment opportunities. So the more companies that list or that quote, you have more options, more investment options, but you also get more of a sense of what's going on in the industry, the more of these that you get. So now we're going to have a bit of a window into the insurance industry with the quotation of medicine, and also, eventually, after that graduated scale into listing, we'll also get investment opportunities into the insurance sector.
Okay. So we've looked at the company itself, we've looked at the public. Now it's the actual market, because many people have talked about trying to develop the market and trying to expand the market. And in what way now does this quotation now benefit the stock market itself as well?
Okay. Like I said earlier, the benefits for the market are obviously going to be linked to what investors perceive of the market. And, the more options you have, then, the greater catchment the market also has. And it's also important to note that the stock exchange is a leading indicator, or it's supposed to be a leading indicator of the greater economy. And that means that, to a certain extent, it needs to be representative of the major industries in the economy. Insurance industry is an important sector, and to increase that diversification aspect, increase the financial services. We've already got quite a bit of representation from the banking side. And, with getting into the insurance industry, primary insurance is also listed, but that's more on the reinsurance side of things. Getting an insurance company eventually is going to help the exchange. Okay.
Now there've been some statements going around the market that Madison Financial Services shares they'll be available for investment very soon. So we're looking at when and how will this be done?
Okay. The shares already, there was an announcement in the press that they have been listed, or rather quoted. So they're sitting in the CST. So effectively, the shares can trade. That doesn't mean that the public can, invest at this stage, because for a trade to happen, you need a buyer and a seller. And at this stage, because the quotation is automatic, it's more of a step towards that direction. And, many companies have already gone through this. We've had Cavmon Capital, we've had Zambeef, which was initially quoted. We've had Investrust that was also initially quoted, and Bata. And, it's envisioned that, the step towards quoting is going to eventually lead to a listing. And that's effectively, when it's going to come to the public. So at this stage, it's not yet publicly available. It can trade, and if any trades have to happen in the company, they have to occur through the exchange. That's the Securities Act, and that's the law, and that's why the quotation is valid. But for it to go to the public, post-quoting, they may choose to list. And since they're quoted, that would be a listing by introduction. And then, the shareholders at the time can choose to exit and sell some of their shares, or they can issue new shares and raise capital through the exchange. So that's basically where we're at now, is that it's still not available to the public per se, though theoretically it can trade. But at a point in time when they're ready to list, then that's when it's going to be open to the public.
Well, that's a very interesting step. I mean, we're looking into the future. Let's say when it actually does start, and the insurance industry will now be open to the public through Madison. Let's look at what prospects there are for the insurance industry itself, as for people to start buying and selling the shares when they are actually available.
Okay. I suppose the case is the same for financial services in general. We've seen recent trends, as Africa is developing, and particularly Zambia is growing. There's a greater demand for financial services, insurance is included. Penetration levels still remain low, and there's probably more scope to underwrite larger deals if balance sheet sizes can grow. And there still remains a large external reinsurance component, and that also presents opportunities. Now, when the economy is growing, at the rate that it is, then, there is increased sophistication and increased demand for different services and insurance based on the recent trends and the growth in premiums over, probably the last 5 years. It's been growing at about 19% compounded. It is envisioned that going forward, it's going to be a large growth sector, and despite the growth, there still remains a lot of opportunity in terms of different types of insurance that aren't covered yet, and also different geographical regions within Zambia that are yet to be fully serviced.
Okay, that's been a very interesting point into the actual quotation of medicine. Thank you very much for joining us in the studio this week, Jimmy.
All right, thanks, Manima.
Well, that's all we have from this week's episode of Exchange Weekly. Join us next week.